Show. Our team obviously is always out and about across the country at events, and every once in a while you run into some great stories. I mean, I do. As I'm doing speaking engagements or our company events, I love bumping into you all out there, and you tell me about just the real things that you've done, what you've accomplished, and I get excited. I know Dave does, and Rachel as well. But we had some team members bump into someone that had a fantastic story. And so we invited him to come join us on the show today. And so he's out in the lobby. I've got Mladen out there. Mladen, how are you, sir?
Hey, Chris, how are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you so much for coming in and being on the show. I'm so intrigued and I'm impressed by you.
Thank you.
You have dealt with some challenges, so let me give people the backstory. So you immigrated from Serbia/Croatia as a refugee in 1995, and you arrived here at age 24, and you arrived with 2 bags and $200, and you didn't speak English. How in the world did that happen?
So, one correction, I came to the country in 2000, not 95.
Gotcha.
So, 19 years ago. And with the help of Catholic Charities as a resettlement agency, I ended up with the U.S. State Department and United Nations. I landed as a refugee in Tampa Bay, Florida.
Wow. And you didn't speak English, correct?
I didn't speak any English. 2 bags, $200, no friends and no family.
How in the world did you do that?
Well, it's kind of easier to think about that now, but 19 years ago, it was about saving lives, right? So, to be honest with you, I didn't have a full perspective of what's happening, but now looking back and looking at the last 19 years, it's just been a fun ride, and I'm very blessed and very thankful and very grateful for my experience in this country.
Right. Now, I understand also you dealt with some tragedy and things back there before you came. What happened to you that caused you to immigrate here?
So I am a refugee from the civil war in former Yugoslavia that started back in 91 in Croatia, and ended in 99 in Kosovo. So that's the kind of the civil war was the origination of my story, or how I ended up here.
Let me ask you, prior to coming to America, what was your perception of the American way of life?
I will tell you, I grew up in a communist country, right? So the best or the only connection was, watching some of the American movies. That was the extent
right.
Of what I understood or knew about this society.
Okay. Now, once you got here, okay, and I can't imagine coming here, not speaking the language, leaving civil war, right? You get here. What was your perception of America once you were here on the soil?
So I will tell you, watching the media for me some days is really difficult because dealing with the real people, real society, communities, it's something completely different. I will tell you that I have been given so many chances and so much help, guidance, and support from every person that I met in the last 19 years.
Wow.
And that is truly inspiring about I would argue about the future of this country and this society. So I would say only support and guidance is everything that I receive from anybody. I had a case manager from Catholic Charities assigned to me, and that was my beginning to help with the driver license, get the first apartment, get the first job, and actually teach me and give me the perspective about the life in this country. Because when you come from the place where I came from, you simply don't have a concept or construct of how the society works.
Wow. So you get here, you get help, and you're absolutely right. None of us get anywhere by ourselves. So you run into some great people along the way. How did you begin to pursue your education? I mean, you went on to get a master's degree, correct?
Correct. So I was in Kosovo, and I got my bachelor's degree there. And when I came here, I knew education was very important to me from early ages, and that's how my parents raised me, to value of education and contribution to the society. So I knew that my first order of business is to provide for me and my wife in terms of living, but the long term is about gaining more education, and through that education also to learn about society and become part of this society. So my first order of business was to learn English so that I can go back to school and get my degree. So I did exactly that, and I got my master's degree in business economics from University of South Florida.
Gotcha. And you just didn't go to school. You were working a couple of jobs, weren't you?
Yeah, so I was actually working 2 jobs for the first 6-7 years in this country, and got my master's degree in record amount of time with 3.8 GPA.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's showing off, Mladen, right there. That's good. Now listen, you were working at night, right, in a kitchen?
I was working actually weekends in the kitchen.
In a kitchen.
And I was going to the school nights.
Wow. How did you get connected with Dave Ramsey's information?
So I will tell you, I was searching online as I was learning about society, economy, and business in this country, and I stumbled right to Dave Ramsey, and I read a couple of books, and then I discovered the show, and I will tell you, even to this day, as I'm getting ready to work, I listen for 10-15 minutes, and it just helps me, and it connects, right? And it kind of validates every single morning for me that I chose the right path, and I believe that this is the right path.
Well,
I will also, if I can, sorry, Chris, just one more comment. I think it's important, right? So I have wife and 2 kids now that were born in this country, and that's my family here. I don't have family here. All of my family is throughout the world now, is a refugee situation and in Europe. And I think about this show and people on the show, right? His whole team is kind of extended part of my family.
That is fantastic, my friend. You come here under tough situations and circumstances, with little money, no family, don't speak the language. Yet you make some decisions for yourself, and not only for you, but for your family. For all the people listening, would you please let people know what your net worth is, Mladen?
2.1 million now.
You, my friend, are an everyday millionaire. You are the kind of person that I talk about in the book. You exemplify that, my friend. To come here with $200, not speaking the language, and you work. It's not an accident. You sacrificed. You gave up a lot, and you made a statement about your family and your legacy, and you're now an everyday millionaire. I'm very, very proud of you for what you've done. And Mladen, when people ask, is the American dream still alive and available? What do you tell them?
I would say that I am, in a way, a living testimony that American dream is alive and well. And one of the reasons why I wanted to come and talk to you guys is really to send a message to everybody out there that if you work hard, if you follow the rules, if you believe and have some fun along the way, you can make it happen.
Absolutely. Mladen, thank you for joining me. That is absolutely a testament to the whole theory of an everyday millionaire. Comes here under dire circumstances, $200 in his pocket, not speaking the language, but gets plugged in, has some help along the way. Don't miss that part of the story, America. Has some help along the way, but he keeps making some choices, making some sacrifices, and doing things, as he said, following things the right way, having a plan, being focused, being committed, and you go from $200 in your pocket to $2.2 million as a net worth.